What's up, guys? So today I want to talk about the top reasons why you should probably reconsider law school. Quite frankly, there are a lot of them, but I'll stick to the top reasons. Before we get into this list, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I know that's a lot to my channel, and like this video for more content, which I'll try to produce daily. Now, that said, let's get into it. So, about me, I am a 4E, graduating 4E, meaning that I've spent 4 years in law school in the evening program, and it has been both challenging and rewarding. Challenging for all of the reasons why I'm gonna disclose to you, but rewarding because of the individuals that I've been able to meet, the stuff I've been able to learn, and I just want to give you a real look of what law school takes and what the costs are, and why you should probably reconsider this. The first reason that you should probably reconsider law school is that it's expensive. Okay, guys, I have a list over here that I'm gonna, be going over, whatever. Anyways, is that it's expensive. First and foremost, you have your undergraduate degree. That's 4 years of undergraduate education. Maybe you might be able to finish it a lot sooner, but getting a college degree is expensive as all get out. Number two, you also have the LSAT, and having really good LSAT scores are important. So you'll probably want to do an LSAT prep or use one of those free apps, which uses your data, collects your data, and sells it on the side. Some of them, not all, but some, and in order to make the platform free. Now, that said, taken together, the LSAT prep, in addition to your undergraduate degree, those are expensive as all get out. Now, you want to get a good GPA in your undergraduate degree as well as a good LSAT score. That leads to the next thing: the cost of tuition and the cost of admissions. When you're looking at a law school, you want to consider how much is the school going to cost me year over year. And quite frankly, it can add up. The law school is expensive. Admissions alone, to fill out an application costs about $50, and then to send $50 each, and then to send it off through the LSAC, Law School Admissions Council, who administers the LSAT as well. The LSAT is really expensive, and those start to add up. So, come on, guys, you got to think about this and make an informed decision. Private schools such as Howard, American University, Catholic University, even Georgetown, on average nationwide, those private schools cost $51,000 a year. Okay, that's in tuition and fees. Public schools, that's the University of Baltimore, University of Maryland, I think Temple University in Philadelphia as well. On average, that costs about $29,000 a year tuition and fees. You have to think about this. If you're going to school full time, you have to add in those life expenses into that, into how much you're taking out. That's on top of the tuition and fees as well. Are you going to be taking advantage of this $29,000 education? You really have to consider that, guys. And student loan forgiveness is not really coming as fast as many people might believe that it is. Now that we've talked about the money costs, we also have to talk about the emotional costs. Law school is demanding. It is very demanding. First, you have to consider that there it's really competitive. You're trying to beat the 1L curve, and you have a lot of subjective professors who grade on a subjective basis. And what that means is that while you're submitting your work, they're using these rubrics sometimes, and they're grading your work on, you're given a blind ID, and they're grading your work. But as they're grading your work, they're like, oh, I feel like your grade should be this. I feel like your grade should be that. One time I was given a bad grade on an assignment and in a class because the professor said, "Oh, I understand what you said, but I didn't like the wording that you used. You conveyed your point and you show that you know the law and the ins and out of this class, but I don't like the word choice you used." And I was like, what? But I mean that's what law school is. It's demanding, it's emotionally taxing. It can really take a toll on you. That speaks to another thing. Law school can be very emotionally and mentally abusive. There are a lot of people who take time off for anxiety, who develop anxiety issues. Um, Law school and the law profession has some of the highest rates of addiction and mental health issues, period, of any profession in the United States. And so when you're considering law school, you really have to think about that. Are you willing to put yourself through that stress for 2.5 to 4 years? Are you willing to do that? Lastly, there are the opportunity costs. If you are working throughout law school, chances are you're building on, your work experience, you're building on your career experience, etc. But if you're not and you're focusing full time on getting good grades, which is, admirable, etc., etc., you also got to think about what are you sacrificing to go to law school? What else could you be doing? What else are you good at? Maybe you should pursue that before going to law school. I mean, truly. And then for a lot of things, you don't need lawyers. I know that's going to be an unpopular thing to say, but I mean, a lot of people are seeing that now. I recommend lawyers for certain situations. But, hey, whatever. You got to think about the opportunity cost. All of this factors into the last point, is that you got to think about the job market. When you are graduating, it's going to be really, really, really competitive. There are about 200 law schools, accredited and unaccredited. There are about 195 accredited law schools. That they're graduating 45,000 graduates each year. 45,000 graduates each year. And they're fighting over, I think it's for every one job there are 6 graduates, folks. There are 6 graduates for every one job. The average starting salary for these jobs, the average across the country, is 40 to 55,000. Okay, with the average individual being employed, it says only 40 to 55,000 starting salary, with the average salary being about 126,000 10 years out from graduation. What? That's insane. But guess what? People like me have gone into this field. The top schools, and the top 10, including Yale, Harvard, UVA, etc., you can expect salaries at about 200,000 10 years out from graduation. But you got to think about it. You might be drawn in by these big salaries and how much you can make, but you got to consider how many hours that you got to put in. On average, you're probably working about 60 to 70 plus hours to make monthly billable minimum hours. And that by itself is insane, guys. That's really insane. Now, you also got to think about it. Not every one of the 45,000 people that graduate every year with a law degree are going to get law jobs, okay? And so there's only about 70% of each graduating class that is employed that is employed in a full-time position or law-related or JD preferred position 1 year out from graduation. That is insane, guys. That's insane. And so, taken in total, as a graduating law student, here are my thoughts on law school. It's going to be stressful. It's going to be you're going to regret the decision for a good while. You're going to have a lot of late nights. You're going to probably gain weight, lose weight, whatever else, from eating too much or eating too little. Your family's not going to understand why you're in law school, why you're putting yourself through this. And if you work full time, or if you have a family, which I have a family and I work full time, they're going to be like, what the heck are you doing? But guess what? You have to stay motivated. You have to encourage yourself, and you got to keep going towards the end goal. But for those who are considering law school, please reconsider unless you are really, 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 really motivated in order to go to law school. Unless there's a calling on your life to go to law school. Quite frankly, for me personally, I consulted every practicing attorney, retiring attorney, and recovering attorney that I could talk to. And each and every one of them told me not to go. But guess what? I decided to go anyway. And in going to school, I had a lot of doubts, I had a lot of anxiety, etc. Prayed on it, but still I went anyway. And the end goal or the end result was to start practicing law within the real estate field. And so far I've been able to get a job in the real estate field and first off build a job in the real estate field as an appraiser, but also I will be working with a nonprofit in the real estate field. These are things that you can, if you have just that calling that you really feel like you need to go, I say go. But it's going to take a toll on you. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be emotionally and mentally taxing. And quite frankly, no one can pay you back for the amount of stress that you're putting yourself through. And so that's the video for today, guys. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.